The Colorado Buffaloes have just landed a couple commitments, and one of them is pretty big. One that we got to talk about, especially after, well, we kind of talked about the woes of Coach Prime, and the transfer portal taketh, but the transfer portal also giveth to Coach Prime as well. But before we dive into it, please go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you all are thinking down in the comments below. Are you excited about the two most recent additions for Coach Prime in the staff with the Colorado Buffaloes? So let's dive right into it. The Colorado Buffaloes land I would say, not a, like, no, I mean, he's elite. Not the, like, 5-star transfer portal guy, per se, but they do land a former 4-star, a former top 150 player in the country out of Florida State, Brendan Gant. And I like him because he's got my last name. But Brendan Gant was a guy that in the ACC for Florida State really just balled out at 6'1" at that safety position and really had a chance to show out. And in this Coach Prime defense with Nick Williams, and you've got Charles Kelly, he's definitely going to have an opportunity to develop and really show his skill set. So at his time at Florida State, this is a guy that totaled 69 total tackles, but 112 total. He had 5.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced fumble. This is a guy that, well, when you look at it, he's a high producer. He's a winner. Being a part of that Florida State team who has just been slowly on the rise, listen, Coach Prime goes out there and gets a guy that is originally from the state of Florida, originally from Lakeland, Florida, which is definitely a breeding ground for the Florida Gators. He goes out there, he gets a guy out of the transfer portal from that area, and he gets them to buy in to the University of Colorado after all of these transfer portal exits. Now, does Brendan see this as an opportunity to play for one of the best defensive backs to ever play this game? Potentially, yes. Does he see this as an opportunity to go out here and be a consistent starter and be able to go up there and play against some of the best quarterbacks in the country? And yeah, I said it, DJU. You've got Dante Moore, who a lot of people are really high on out there at UCLA. You have Bo Picks at Oregon. You have Caleb Williams at USC. Yes, there is going to be an opportunity for Brendan Gant to show out at the University of Colorado in this Charles Kelly, Nick Williams, and Coach Prime defense. But they also got another commitment from a defensive lineman or defensive tackle, whatever you want to call it, out of Old Dominion by the name of Chaz Wallace. Chaz Wallace is a guy that has produced mightily for, I don't know what you call Old Dominion's mascot, but had an opportunity to put up 19 solo tackles, 46 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. This is going to be a guy that is going to be, again, another good rotational piece for Coach Prime. But a guy that, listen, if he's able to control his weight a little more, put on some muscle mass, this could be a starter for the Colorado Buffaloes going into the fall, because he's definitely a guy that is able to produce. But outside of those guys, with all the portal exits, what are names that the Colorado Buffs fan really need to be watching? Well, the first one that is by no shock to you guys is Alton McCoskill, I think I said that right, from the class of 2021, committed to Houston, is expected to end up at the University of Colorado. But here's the deal. The kid's got a big frame. He's got some top-end speed, definitely has the ability to go be an NFL draft pick, and a guy that produced for Houston. And so that's one out of Conroe, Texas, the 6'1", 200-pound running back that everybody needs to be paying attention to, which, if you're the Colorado Buffaloes, you have cleaned up since Coach Prime has came to Colorado on running backs, as you got Cavassier Smoke. You also got Dylan Edwards out of the recruitment process in 2023. So everything's looking good for Colorado there. Additionally, I think somebody else that Colorado fans definitely need to be paying attention to, the former 4-star, 6'5", 255-pound tight or 250-pound tight end from Dayton, Ohio, that is transferring from Alabama, Elijah Brown. So Elijah Brown is a multi-sport athlete, played a little bit of basketball. Again, a guy that I think would fit well in what Coach Prime and Sean Lewis are wanting to do on that offense. And definitely, I think he would get some playing time at the University of Colorado. I go and I look at a guy like Shone Washington, the 6'3", 300-pound defensive lineman out of New Orleans, currently transferring from the University of Georgia. Now, I mean, if LSU is needing defensive linemen, I think this is an easy take for them. But listen, looking at, what Colorado needs, you need guys that are able to go fight in the trenches. Shone Washington, that's a guy that's able to do that for you. He's able to fill some gaps. I also look at a guy like Saval Smalls, the 6'3", 260-pound edge rusher that is transferring from the University of Washington. Used to be a former 5-star out of Bury in Washington. This is a guy that, listen, he is going to probably be a first or second round draft pick, can be an immediate starter for your team. I'm excited to see potentially where he ends up and if Coach Prime and this staff will get him on a visit. Additionally, a couple other guys I think you should be looking at. DeMario King from Washington as well. This was a guy that originally went to Los Alamos, California, their high school. He went to a junior college, Cerritos College, 6'3", 205 pounds at the linebacker or at the safety position. He was a top 100 player in terms of JUCO, a number 140 player according to the 247 JUCO ratings. But another guy that I think could be big for the Colorado Buffs, especially if you've had all these transfers out. Last but not least, I really like the outside linebacker Gabe Stevens from North Carolina. Was a part of that 2021 class. But again, another guy that could go to the NFL. If you notice, what am I picking out? I'm picking out guys that have NFL potential. Those are going to be the guys you want on your team. The linebacker position is going to be a need for the University of Colorado. You got Demoy Kennedy out there, but with Taylor Upshaw entering the transfer portal, I definitely think there's going to be a need for the University of Colorado to be able to go out there and land more talented guys like this. So definitely go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you all think. What are your thoughts about all of these recent transfer portal, entrances by the University of Colorado players? And do you think Coach Prime is going to be able to turn it around? Additionally, what do you think of the most recent portal additions that Coach Prime has made, the staff has made, of Brendan Grant and Chaz Wallace?